Hello there, and welcome to Alvarez's Diecast Customs. Today we're going to be working on this Hot Wheels 1964 Chevy Nova Gasser. Pretty cool looking thing. Being British, I'm not really familiar with gassers and things like that, but I do like the style of this one, and sort of the raised up front. So I thought I'd give it a good custom. So let's take a closer look at it. Yeah, pretty cool to begin with. Do like the way it's got the big fat wheels on the rear there, sort of like drag racing style things, and then the skinny things at the front. Engine sticking out the bonnet as well. These strange skinny tyres on the front, sort of mushroom shaped as they are with the way they've designed those. I've already taken the time to drill the base out on this. I start off with a 2mm drill bit, then work up to a 5mm to remove the main piece of the head off. There we go. There's that base. To go about pulling those wheels out. Quite a nice body. Seems to be painted in sort of matte primer grey, and then with the decals on top. Clear window piece in the transparent blue plastic. That's okay, keep it as it is. And the dreaded chrome that they slaver their interiors with quite often. Absolutely blindingly horrible. So that will be covered up. Let's get these wheels out, we'll literally just push them straight out. Not much resistance as always, especially with the plastic bases, they just pop out. So let's get on with stripping that paint off. I popped it in a pot of paint stripper for about an hour and then ran it under a tap and used an old toothbrush to scrape the paint off. And then later, once it's dried off and cleaned up, I went over with a Scotch-Brite pad just to clean up the body. This is what you're left with. Those wheels, I've decided to use these ones instead. These are some Hot Wheels Real Riders. Got some similar sort of skinny ones for the front with chrome types, and the big fat rears as well. As they are, the axles on the rear won't fit into the current slots, and the front ones, they're just a bit too loose. They're just going to slide all over the place, so I'm going to need to make axle tubes up for these later on, just so they can behave themselves and stay where I need them. Interior and window, we'll deal with those later on. Onto the body, I'm just going to be using my diamond file and just going around cleaning everything up, some of the edges on here. Overall, this casting was pretty damn good, to be honest. It was very tidy, very sharp lines to it. Just a few sort of creases and rough areas on some corners and whatnot, so I'll just go about cleaning those up. Notably around the front bonnet area here, it's a bit rough, so I just really want to sharpen that up. So just go over that a few times. There we are, so after a good bit of sanding down and smoothing over, I also used a piece of emery paper, as you can see, just to clean over the body as well. It keys it nicely for painting later on. Chassis as well, also just smoothed over some areas, add a bit of flashing, and also on the interior piece, add a bit of flashing around the headlights and on the bumpers and on the exhaust pipes, so just clean those up. So I've gone ahead and painted it. Gone with this bubblegum pink. This was straight out of a spray can. I initially primered it with standard grey primer, straight out of a spray can as well. I also hit the base and the interior, sprayed directly onto that chrome paint. Makes it a lot easier to paint over when it's got a good primer coat. Axles as well for the wheels, I've knocked those up. You've seen me do this loads of times in some of my other videos. I'll pop a link up in the top right corner there just so you can check out how I've done that before. I'll save you the bother of watching me do it on this one again. So I'm just going about painting the chassis here, just using some Tamiya metallic grey. Just picking out some areas on the front and rear here. Using this as a standard sort of base colour for the majority of this build. I'm also going to be painting the interior as well using this paint. It's quite nicely detailed interior now that I've covered up that chrome and you can actually see it. Some nice little details of the rivets. You've got some sort of tank at the rear there. Seat belts on the seats. And the engine details are quite nice as well. Such a shame that they have to cover it all in chrome to the point where it just becomes, you can't discern anything out of it because the chrome just swamps the details. They're better off just painting them like sort of flat colours. So onto the body, I'll just be using this silver Sharpie. I'm just going to pick out some of the bright work details on here, namely the door handles, fuel filler cap. I'll also go around doing the rear tail lights as well. It had some sort of chrome trim raised up on the chrome, so I'll go pick those out as well. I'm just filling in the tail lights with the silver Sharpie. I'll later go into those with some clear red from Tamiya. I do like how that bubblegum pink came out. It was actually a furniture paint straight out of a spray can. Having trouble getting hold of some sort of supplies at the moment with being in lockdown again. So yeah, I just had to make do with what I had, and I had some pink furniture paint. I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Turned out pretty nicely. So yep, just going over some of the details on here, using the front and rear bumpers, going over that with the silver paint. You can see I'm keeping the brush moving very quickly and not loading the paint up too much. This prevents brush strokes and really just smooths it over. Makes it look a lot smoother. So I went ahead and did some more details on the interior here. I didn't want to bore you with the whole sort of detail painting. Literally, I just used some of the Sharpie pens. I have a gold and a bronze. Just went around some more of that, and then some red paint using a toothpick. Just little bits and pieces, just little extra details. And as always, I like to use my Citadel Nuln oil, so I'll just be hitting it with this. Good few coats of this inside. This really sort of gives it a lot more depth to the details. Really ties everything in. It just finds all the sort of depths and everything here. As you can see, it sort of just clings to it. Once that's dry, it looks really sort of convincing. Sort of more like a scale model. Hitting the front as well. You can see where I've done the headlights in some white paint. Just brings them out a bit more. Makes them sort of show up over the silver. Base also got a few extra little details using some of those Sharpie pens. And I'll just hit this with the Nuln oil as well. Just a few good coats of this. Wanted to make the sort of underside and the engine on this car quite grimy. I mean, the car technically would have been over 50 years old by this point. So it's seen its fair use and gets used regularly. But well looked after, my intentions were with the build. Sort of someone that uses it now and then. Likes to keep the body tidy and generally keeps the interior tidy and all that, but still a bit grimy, oily. It's not a showroom model, it's something that's hit the track regularly, as you say. So onto the body here, you can see I did some extra details on the engine area. It's looking a bit plain as it is, so I'll be adding some decals to this. You also notice there I did the tail lights and some of that chrome. So yeah, going to be using these Super Sonico decals from Milo's Customs. Some really nice decals there. Thought it'd go really nicely with the pink paint. Make it look quite unique. These decals are designed for one of those Datsun wagons, but should be able to make do with them on this build. So I went ahead and did the decals off camera because they're an absolute nightmare to work with and it's not fun to watch. So I'll spare you the pain of watching me do that. Also done a good clear coat on the body. So we can go about putting this back together now. Pop the window in, there's that interior. You can really see the detail on that now that Nuln oil's died. come together really nicely, that has. I hit the front headlights as well with a quick coat of gloss paint, just to highlight those a little bit more. Also not forgetting the rear wheels arches there, I painted those in black. You can sometimes see those through the back wheels, so I do like to take care of those little details. Base there, wheels sorted out, stuck into the chassis. Stuck a Castrol logo on the front there. No one really brings out those details, doesn't it? Also, I didn't notice is actually had some pedals at the front there on the chassis, so I took care of detailing those up as well. It's not that you can really see them through the window, but I know they're there, so at least I knew I took care of them. There's those 5mm self-tapping screws I like to use. Just popping those into the chassis and get all those screwed in. So yeah, before I reveal it, let's take a look at what we started with. Swipe that one away. So yeah, as it was a pretty cool looking thing. I do like how they started off with the primer grey, but the decals looking pretty rough on this one. They seem to have chipped off on some areas. It's just a bit scuffed up. This was new out of the packet as well. Anyway, let's take a look at what we ended up with. It's my interpretation of a pretty badass looking gasser with the Super Sonico decals, courtesy of Milo's Customs. There were some really nice decals, these are. I also popped the Castrol Racing logo on the top as well. That decal itself was from Sideways King 75. And the clear coat, as you can see, has gone on really nicely. I did 2 coats of that. This is straight out of a spray can. It's a urethane based one. I just did 2 coats, one light one and then a heavier one afterwards, and about a day's drying time. This is what you're left with. Pretty nice decals though, really detailed and just perfectly done. Very nice to work with. I do like how all these little details I put out on the front there came out. Non-oil wash, really sort of griming everything up. Really sets it off. Makes the pink on the body pop a bit more as well, I think. Chassis details. There's that rear as well with the extra chrome details around the boot. Just about see that interior detail. Yeah, very pleased with this one. It's the first gasser I've ever done on my channel. I did enjoy doing it. Might do some more in the future actually. I did pick up a couple of more of these castings. Yeah, no doubt it'll pop up again on my channel at some point. Anyway, I'll just leave you with some more shots of it in the meantime, and I'll be back in a short while. So yeah, this has been another custom by me, Alvarez's Diecast Customs. Do hope you have enjoyed watching me put this one together. It's been a fun one, quite a short one though. simple to do, but overall really enjoyable. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.